finishing day one of Anime Expo! Waka waka! Hello there, my fandom friends. My name is Jenna and welcome to my channel. So a couple weeks ago, I attended Anime Expo in Los Angeles, California, and so I wanted to make 4 videos of me talking about each day. So in this video, I'm going to be basically breaking down everything that happened in day 1. So if you're curious, if you weren't there, or even if you were there and want to hear all my thoughts about day 1, stick around. So just to backtrack a bit, me and 4 of my friends all went to this convention together. We got a hotel and we all stayed there kind of close to the convention. We had an absolute blast together, and so you'll be seeing myself and my friends in a lot of pictures and videos that I'll post on the screen throughout this video. So as I'm talking, I'll pop up different things to what I'm referring to and things like that to make it more interesting. To start at the very beginning, my friends and I left our personal houses at like 5 or 6 in the morning. We all carpooled there on Saturday, which was the first day of Anime Expo. We dropped off all our stuff at the hotel first, and then we got into our cosplays. So day 1, most of us were doing a Spy Family theme, and so I was cosplaying Loid. It was my very first time cosplaying him officially at a convention, and then 2 of my friends were Yor, and then 1 was Anya, and then my other friend was Mikey from a different anime. And then we went to the convention. We got there probably, it was around like 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been going to conventions all my life. I've gone to quite a few out-of-state ones. I've done San Jose, Denver, Utah, very recently San Diego Comic-Con, which I'll have a different video for that coming. This Anime Expo is the biggest anime convention in America, so of course it has that very big feel to it. And walking in, like, I was already like super overwhelmed. I'm an introvert, so big crowds aren't totally for me, but like at conventions I feel a lot safer because I know that like these are my people. Like, we're all just nerds trying to have a good time. The very first thing we saw were like these huge blow-ups. They were super cool, different anime characters. We already all had our phones out videotaping our like initial experience to everything, kind of the overwhelmed feeling that we probably all had. One of the other first things we saw was like a whole Spy Family group gathered, and we had missed the Spy Family meetup. We had no idea there was one, but that was kind of a bummer. We don't have a picture with them because they had like just finished and probably didn't want to take more pictures with like the 20th like Loid and Yor and Anya that just like showed up randomly. But we did get a couple other pictures. There was another Loid we got a picture with, another Anya, and yeah, we kind of just like made our way into the convention center and we went straight to the Spy Family panel, which was at 5 p.m. We got there like, I think it was like 2 hours early. We were trying to map out the place, and we get in line, or what we thought was the line, and we were like, oh gosh, there's a lot of people here. Like, the line was already like hundreds of people, and we were concerned. We were like, oh gosh, how big is this room? Like, are we gonna be in the back? And so we stood in line for a little bit, and then we realized that there was a panel before the Spy Family panel, and it was like for Netflix, something to do with Netflix. And so a lot of the people who were already in line or were already in the panel room were attending that one. And so we got kind of like toward the middle-ish of the room. I think that room sat around 3,000-ish people, so it was pretty big. I definitely was not too happy with the seats. I wanted to be up in the front for the Spy Family panel because Eguchi-san was there. If you don't know, that is the Japanese voice of Loid, and I cosplay Loid. I was in Loid. He's my favorite character from Spy Family. I absolutely love that man. And so I wanted to be like closer to the front so that he could potentially see me, of course, and so that I could see him a lot better. I was going insane. I was anxious, I was twitchy, I was like on the aisle seat of the row because I was preparing myself to like sprint to the front after the Netflix panel ended so that I could like hopefully get like close to the front. And so I was like telling my friends like, okay, here's the plan. I'm gonna go like straight to the front. You guys can like hang out like here and like see if anything opens. I was not confident at all because I thought all of those people were gonna stay in the front. But when that panel, the Netflix one, ended, so I went to the front and I got 5th and 6th row seats for this Spy Family panel. And I like immediately called my friend Hannah. I'm like, get up here now! Like, I'm trying to save all these seats. I had like my bag on one. I had, what else was I carrying? Because I know I put my phone on one. I think my leg was over one. I was about to take off my shoes because I was desperate. I was trying to save 5 seats for my friends and I. And I'm like, get up here now, like people are looking for seats, like this is the closest I can get and I don't want to like ditch anyone. And so I'm like draping, I had 3 in the 6th row and then I had 2 in front of that in the 5th row. So I had like my arms over like the 2 in front of me. I was like, get here now. My friends came, everything was fine. I was just stressed and anxious and super excited to see Loid as I'm cosplaying Loid. We're all just sitting there waiting. We waited for like a half hour to an hour maybe. We got some pictures before the panel of our little spy family group. I was trying to stay calm, but I'm pretty sure I was like already crying before he came out. Actually, I know I was crying. I was sitting next to my friend Hannah, and then my 3 other friends were behind us. Then the panel started and Eguchi-san walked out. I think that at this point I was definitely crying, like a lot more. This was like my first time seeing him like speak, you know, like, and seeing his like face and everything obviously in person. It was his first time in America for this event. It was just so very special seeing him. The panel was absolutely amazing. All of the panels at this convention for Anime Expo, we weren't allowed to take pictures or videos, so unfortunately I do not have any of that content to show you. And if I did, I wouldn't be posting about it because I want these people to come back in the future. So I hope you understand, like, obviously I wish I had that content to share, but I don't wanna, you know, I want them to come back so that more people can experience these voice actors and so that I can see them again in the future. Eguchi-san, he answered a ton of questions about Spy Family, about his character. After Anime Expo, I made like a bullet point list of like everything I remembered them talking about. And so just for fun and to document this and so that you can listen in on the panel kind of through me and what I remember, I thought it would be fun to share those questions and his answers. So that's what I'm going to be doing next year in a second. But overall, he was just such a kind, like, silly, goofy person. That panel was really fun. It was one of my favorite ones, actually, of the event. Like, the questions they were asking him, and just, like, he was just such a joy to listen to. He was so happy and just, like, so, like, in awe of us. It was, like, really cute. But anyway, I'm gonna start going over the questions because I thought that would be fun. And I enjoyed it, so I hope you do too. Also, just one more quick thing before I start with these questions and answers. This isn't not in any, like, specific order. This is literally what I remember off the top of my brain after the whole experience. It was after like the entire weekend that I wrote these down. So I tried my best to remember. I remembered quite a lot, honestly. I was surprised. I know I'm missing stuff. Question 1 was describe Loid in 1 English word. His response to this was laughter, and then he was like, I distinctly remember this. He was like, cool. Question 2 was describe your in 1 English word, and his response was the same, cool. Also, his laugh was the cutest thing. Like, if you just look up like videos of him online, like you'll find it because he's just a very happy, like laughy person. His laugh like rings in my head. That it was very distinctive and it really stuck with me. Question 3 was to describe Anya in 1 English word. For this, he said very cool. Question 4 was to describe Bond in 1 English word, and he used the word miracle. I thought that was so sweet, and we were all expecting him to just say cool again, but he said miracle. And I mean, that's not like an English word that I feel like I use a lot, so it was cool that he knew that. Question 5 was what member of the Forger family would you be like in real life? And he said Bond for this. I thought he was gonna say Loid because he has like a lot of aspects to Loid that he himself as a person has. Question 6 was what Spy Family character is most scary to you? And for this, he said Anya. She's super cute, and then he paused, but intimidating. I thought for this he was gonna say like Frost or something. No. Anya, and that's very fitting, honestly. Question 7 was if you could hang out with any Spy Family character, who would it be? And he said Frankie for this. I don't know who I was expecting him to say for that, but that's cute. Like, Frankie and Loid are like friends in the show. They have a really interesting dynamic, like work and then friend-wise. Loid is always there for Frankie, just as Frankie's always there for him, so that made sense. Question 8 was, which Spy Family character has the best attire? And I kind of thought he was gonna say Yor for this, but he actually said Loid. He said himself, and his reasoning was that he's very diverse in his style with all of his different spy outfits, and he started talking about how it's like a new outfit every day because of like all the missions he goes on. So that made a lot of sense, and I like that. If I could cosplay every version of Loid, I would. And maybe I will. Question number 9 was, what is it like recording with the other cast members? And his response to this was actually what stuck out to me the most during the whole panel. Very like heartfelt and meaningful, and I think I actually teared up when he was explaining. But he was talking about how like everyone on the cast, like when you think about like a cast, you think of them being like super like energetic and like, oh, like going out to like restaurants together and doing fun things together and laughing and everything and just like spending a lot of like energetic time together. And he compared that to the Spy Family cast experience, and he talked about how everyone is super calm and super quiet, which like is an experience of its own. He said it creates a very different and almost like peaceful bond between all of them, which I've never like heard of a cast like that before. I know of like a lot of casts, like one of my favorites, well, my favorite is the Lord of the Rings cast. Even like the Star Wars cast for like Clone Wars I think of, or like Harry Potter, like super connected, bonded cast members. But like Spy Family, like they're like that too, but like in a different way. And I really liked how he talked about like all of these people, all of these cast members, like being super like quiet and kind of shy and introverted is like still okay. You don't need to like be extroverted and all of that to still have a good time. And you know, coming from an introvert, that meant a lot to me, and that made me tear up. Question number 10 was, who is your favorite character? And of course, everyone was like, oh, Loid, like, you know, like you're Loid, so it's gonna be Loid. No, he said Henry Henderson.
Eleganto! Very eleganto! Eleganto!
I just like died laughing. I was like, oh my, because everyone loves that guy. Like, who doesn't love that man? It's hilarious. Question number 11 was a would you rather question. It was, would you rather eat Yor's homemade meal or go on a mission? And he paused for quite a while, but he decided on going on a mission, which I thought was like so funny. And like, I figured he would pick that just because Yor's food literally kills you. I just like kept imagining like the image that the show shows of them like laying on the ground dead with like Yor in the background, like, oh, like what did I do? But that was hilarious. That got the audience reaction for sure. Question 12, if you could be a spy, an assassin, a telepath, or a foreseer, which would you choose? And he said telepath. He sided with Anya for this. He talked about how it just seems like a really powerful and beneficial kind of ability to have. So it was toward the end of the panel that we realized he was drunk because he started like non-stop talking about alcohol. And it was just the silliest thing ever, and I think this is when I started to remember less and less of the panel because I was just dying laughing. But there were like 3 or 4 questions in a row where he answered with some kind of like alcohol reference. And there's 2 that I remember. One of them being, this is question 13, if you had a superpower of your own, what would it be? And he was like, to be hungover every day. And we were like, what? And that was the start of like, oh gosh. Question 14, what would your code name be? And he said something like Osake. And then at another point he mentioned whiskey. He was talking about how he was like at a bar drinking the night before, or I think the night before or something. I don't know. It was funny, and he was an awesome person. And then once all of the questions were done, I think he was just kind of like saying some of his final words, and he was talking about like how appreciative he was of like everyone showing up and everyone being there for him and for Spy Family and the whole story and everything. And he was talking in Japanese. Of course, they have English translators for all these people on the stage, but I noticed he like gestured to like where me and my friends were sitting, and I kind of was like, oh, like, did he just like say something about us, you know? And when the English translator translated what he had basically said something along the lines of how he's so happy to see Spy Family cosplayers in the audience. And he gestured again to where my friends and I were sitting, and then I think to like one or two other like spots, because he specifically said like Loid, and then he said Anya. And I like I think I fainted for like 0.2 seconds. I just I think my hands went up. I was like and then I fell over into my friend Hannah's like lap for like a second. Like she had to catch me, and I'm insane, okay? I love this man. I love this character. I love this story. You've got to understand, this is a rare thing to see a Japanese voice actor in America. They also showed like a really cool preview of the new Spy Family movie that's going to be coming out at the end of the year, so that was really cool, seeing like new content of the characters. This was really cool. One of the very last things he did on stage was reenact some of his lines as Loid from the show. I don't remember the exact line he said because it was in Japanese, but I'm pretty sure it was from the very first episode. I think it was during the scene when he was thinking about like taking on Anya or not, toward the end of the episode, which is like a really meaningful episode to me. I love it so much, like seeing his growth already in like episode 1. But that was amazing. He doesn't sound like Loid, just like as a person, he doesn't, you can kind of tell it's him, but his voice is more like high pitch. And so when he does Loid, like it's Loid, it's distinctive, like you know it's him. And so he changed his voice and did that for the audience, and it was just amazing. And then he went off the stage and it was over. Oh my gosh, I could not stop talking about it with my friends. I was like, did you see that? He pointed at us and he saw us, and me as Loid, me as him. So we went outside, we found like a really cute like Japanese decorated like area for like boba and other like Japanese foods. They had like all like the seating arrangement in like kind of the Japanese style. They had like the big red arch. We got a lot of pictures in front of that. Almost every single day I'll pop up some pictures that we got at that kind of red arch. And then if you went through the arch, that's where like all of the different food and like boba and stuff were. And so we were super excited to get the boba because it was like anime themed for like specific characters. And there were only like 4, I think, that were specifically themed for characters. And so I got the Tanjiro one. I had to get the themed one for Demon Slayer. It was adorable. We left the convention and we were trying to find a spot to like take nice pictures kind of like during the sunset time, the golden hour time. And so we made like a loop around the buildings after we had left the convention. We found a really cool spot kind of across from the Marriott Hotel, which I'll have a lot to say about the Marriott on day 3. I will not talk about it now or else I will cry. But, oh gosh, what's wrong with me? But that does involve a story about Rui. So stay tuned for that because I'm already crying. I'll probably cry in that video. I will cry in that video. We got a lot of pictures. I got a lot with my friend Hannah. She was Yor. My friend Felicia, she was also Yor. So we were swapping out wives. We had a little fight situation go on. We were taking the picture of when like Loid is like proposing to Yor, and so I was doing it with one of my friends, and then my other friend came over and she was like, hey, what about me? I remember this like man walked by and he was like, oh, you're cheating on your wives, what are you doing? I was like, oh gosh. And then we got pictures with, of course, my friend Bryn. She was Anya. We got a group picture of all of us friends that were there. Of course, my friend Gabriel was there. He was Mikey. We also got some awesome pictures of him. But if you want to see more pictures, you can check out all of our Instagrams that I popped up on the screen earlier. But yeah, that was basically it from day 1. We went back to our hotel. It was pretty late, but probably the earliest that we got home over this weekend. We had such an amazing time. Day 1, it was like the beginning of everything. We kind of scoped out the convention center. The Spy Family panel with Eguchi-san was the highlight, especially for me, because of course I love him. But yeah, it was a wonderful day. and I'll be making more videos about each day of Anime Expo just like this. If you want to see me talk about it, if you want to see pictures and videos, just like I popped up on the screen in this video, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this brought back fun memories if you went to the convention, or maybe if you want to go in the future, this entices you to go, because I'm definitely going back. This was amazing. I encourage you to do so as well. It's definitely worth it. If you were able to make it to Anime Expo this year, 2023, let me know your favorite part from day one. But anyway, that is the end of day one and this video. I will see you for day two. Bye! Panel because Eguchi-san. We're finishing day one of... Where are we?
Anime Expo.
I was like,
You were what the hell?
I was like,
Bloopers.
I was like Phoenix fan fusion. That's really good. That's